It's day 1530 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we're doing your Adeh Simon Reis, Tzadik Zayin, Sif Yud Zayin to Chav Daled. So Hazar meaning Loyadar Klaus Sheesh by Minacha. Somebody planted a species and didn't know that was mixed in another species. But when it grew, raw Bokilaim is soaking lime. Avocado Mikra didn't even know Kohen strictly the law, somebody has no problem. The client didn't know about it. It's not even simple as the case. In a case where another species got mixed up without intent. We knew about it before the planting. But here, you know, all. As we said, if there's one tree for the field planted with kilaim, I raise the kate. You should gather up the foreign species until you diminish them. Meet name Marisain because Marisain Shemru claims over less people say he deliberately planted kilaim. Pen shayah. Hamina chesh tzamak tvua betvua. Whether the other species grew as grain with grain, or kidneys or legumes with legumes, or kidneys or legumes, or kubshari or other seeds. You know, tzamak pachas mikan, if that which grew is less than 1/4, ain't tzarich l'mai, you don't have to diminish it. The bracket says, is that in rabus? There's no chiddush in this. The kamashlo, I feel shesh makom l'chashlo, which is bar b'vduk. So the chiddush is, he says, it's a question. What's the chiddush? The answer is, even in a case where he might be suspected, even though it's less than 1/24, he doesn't have to diminish the amount of foreign species. It's true, this true is not there's this place for suspicion. It was mancha the very marim, but at a time when the circumstances indicate shades of saw that was not his intent. And by they came up on their own. We don't require him to diminish the amount. This is true in a case where the foreign species would ruin his grain. Such as a grain in which type plant weeds of East Gruvu means it's a plant. It's a dye plant. Tilson, which is a type of fenugreek, but that which is a type of legume shazar machal adam. He's growing the fenugreek. That's what he is growing. Other grasses grew, foreign grasses, which are bad for the fenugreek. As opposed to when you plant the fenugreek for animal consumption, it's not a loss. Now, the other grasses are also good for animals. Anything similar to Nikola Kosh is there's against his will, and he himself is going to uproot it. How do we know that fenugreek is meant for human consumption? Arugas such as planted in orderly patches. Has a boundary around them. For animals, you don't grow in patches with boundaries. So to a place of where you stockpile grain, where many things grow out of the ground. Because their seeds growing from all the species which are stockpiled there. We don't require him to uproot. There's no issue of sustaining kilaim. Everybody knows Shannon wrote this. You know what? Anything growing in a place where you were stockpiling your grain. So after it's a loss for the barn. It says they took away some of them. I don't know, we say, aha, put out all of them. And Niach would only live one species. Okay, otherwise, Niach seems to be revealing his intent. That he wants the others to remain, but the ones he didn't remove. It's as if he's staying in Kilaim. Near the Canaan East is with Tilton. Says seems to him also by the Istis and Fenugreek Shalu Ba Astovim, which other grass grew in them, foreign grasses. Imaka mixed us, so you uproot some of them, Tzarlak or Kula, you have to root all of them, actually show a Chamichavdal, so you get less the ratio of 1/24, you times that on that account. Yutesh, in paragraph, we learned in the first paragraph, Mishnah ain't nothing milakas b'toch musadan shel shikma. You don't plant vegetables in the anvil, meaning the stump of a sycamore tree. Zeilan shel te'eno miyar, this is a wild fig tree. I think it's a sycamore tree, not a wild fig tree. But Nishar Shosha Ba'aretz, maybe I'm wrong. It was its roots in modern Hebrew. Maybe it's a sycamore in old Hebrew. Maybe it's a fig tree. What do I know? Anyway, Venisha Shosha Baharetz, its roots remain in the ground even after they felled the tree. Vein Makivin Pigam, you don't also graft Pigam, who is called Ruta, a grass is called Rota, Agabe Kita Lavana, and a white Kita, Vumini Lunch of Summon, which is a tree going for fragrance. They should yak because it's vegetable grafted onto a tree. The Chorazam Mesar Kov, this seems to be a prohibition of grafting. So why the Ram write this in halachas of Kilei Zroim? If you so should only put in this simon. Ray, but simon Ray Sarei Chemakomot should be simon Ray Sarei. Achram lo kosher kolkach. Achram is not so difficult. Shukaseb Yardini Kilei Zroim in Dini Arkov Perkechot. He writes halachas of kilaim of seeds with the halachas of grafting one paragraph. Rabbi Beisev, kosher ksas, but Rabbi Beisev seems to be a bit difficult. Raki nation nimshach achar losh and the achar losh Rambam Sibdura, that's because he followed the language of the Rambam and the Rambam's patterns in arranging the halachas. Chav, kasav Rambam Shalom writes, "Atomin agudis lepes." It's known somebody who buries a bundle of turnips and radish, chetzim, etc., tachas the ilar under tree. Afilu tachas again underneath a grapevine. The bracket says here sharach v'nach lashish, where it's soft and easy to take roots. Bracket out of the brackets. If some of the leaves of the vegetables which are being stored there on the ground are revealed, is not a problem. Clear doesn't want it to take roots. If they're not bundled, or the leaves are not revealed. Kalim is an issue potentially of Kalim Akal and quote for the Rambam. But Shulchan Sifirav. Kalim calls the Rashi Be'ervin Kilei Akarim. He said it's talking about grape Kalim, the real stuff. Came where the Divi Arab is so peg out the Kalim and Sham. But no, it's the same thing. Rash Kosa later came and Sham. Rash also writes this. Avarama Yivshal Markim, but Queen can't say this. Right? Kosa Takas Elon. I feel Takas given underneath the tree, even underneath a very grapevine. Because also Shakil Akarim, other trees obviously not relevant to speak about Kilei Akarim. Rama Ushumakov, according to Rama, it's an issue of grafting. Pesha Shnai Shom Kosav, Yishum Slachal Tizva Kilaim, your field is not plant Kilaim. And also Borur, it clearly means Arakova and grafting. Shalom Mikrozoid Shalom from this pasuk. The Kilei Zram Ev Shalomar on Kilei Zram, you can't say this. Kilei Zram Lega Kilaim Rak Arakova. Because the tree and seeds, there's no issue unless it is grafted. Kankana of Arakova. So it must be also that's a form of arkava. Since you stockpile them underneath the tree, the radish and the turnip and the radish penetrate the roots of the tree. For have a yerk bilans like vegetable grafted onto the tree. Becomes there shayla arkava is also like grafting commotion like the previous if. Ram specifically requires a bundle, and that some of the leaves should be revealed. This clearly indicates he doesn't want to take root. If one of these conditions are missing, it's not a bundle or leaves are not leaves revealed. Leaves are revealed. It's a problem. And Rabbi says, as long as it's either or, it's either a bundle or leaves are revealed. Chaim has one recognizing factor is enough. Rashi says the fact they talk about its leaves uncovered, that has to do with Shabbos. It shouldn't be said that you're harvesting on Shabbos. I think client or it shouldn't be a muktish since you can move by the leaves. I mean, Klein Mutter, Akshen, Magun, but in terms of Klein, it's Mutter, even the leaves are not revealed. The Bakul Dafka Maguin is specifically required the leaves revealed under any circumstance. Tiara was saying, I'm a Stasha Rabbi Shabisha, Isa Rak Begefen. Shem Clear Ken, the prohibition is only by a grapevine on account of Kila Ken. Shem Shine Perkab before the Hedika Rambam. Usham to split the Rambam. See them come back to this Rambam issue. Sham it says, Manukim, and it says, what are we talking about? E Mishum Zroim Be'ilan is the count of seeds and trees. Normally heaven. Why should it be only an issue of grapevine? I feel Shinos. It shouldn't be an issue in other trees. And if you don't want it to take root, let me level it so. Why should civilly talk about turnips and radishes. I mean, mad the time of Bechia could go kon agura shel levis agura shel tzonos. Have Bechia said to you about a bundle of turnips, a bundle of radishes. Have a lace time at the ella. The issue is you don't want it to take roots. Like we just said, like I just translated, the law have it come out ella. Ella, that's the way I always translate it. But I makes it the dafka agura. So he says clearly you need specifically a bundle. That is the determining factor. Because you don't want to take root. But Shami didn't move on. The Shami is not understandable. The active is Zoyim Be'ilan, answer Shir Rotza Bashar Shasan, and if it's talking about Zoyim Be'ilan, you don't need to take that you should want that Shwasha. But to me, I'm astonished. Elevade Dishtain Echadu. They're both the same reason. Max Shtekush is asking two questions. Echad, the Lama Lali Geffen. Why should it be limited to grapevine? Shane is Lama Li Levet Sos. Why should we limit your example to radishes and turnips? In terms of taking root, we say the language you don't want it to take root. Okay, it's Shami's talking in brief. Masik the rock, tersely. Masik the rock left its tos naki mishum the heter rock agura, and concludes that only left its tos are mentioned because the heter is only their bundle. And bundle is only relevant by radishes and turnips. Shadakim Adam, which are normally bundled. Like vegetables are normally bundled. Forget it, lav dafka, it's not necessarily a grapevine, however. Chena Perish Shami, that's interpretation of Shami. When it says if because you don't want the roots, any time Mishum Zraim, this issue is not an issue of seeds in a tree. Mishum Kili Akarim, very different issue. With Gavin Dafko, and it's specifically talking about grapevines. And moving that doesn't make sense. Taking root is not the opposite of trees, seeds and trees, which is not taking root, it's grafting. But grafting is also a form of taking root. Perhaps the language of taking root is more relevant to Kili Akarim. It says, the fullness of the seed which you planted becomes consecrated. Malaya means it took root and they grew. And the seed means planting. Okay, it's whatever. The Rambam writes, a field which is planted. And you harvested the plants of the seeds. You should and the roots remain in the ground. Even though they're not going to produce vegetation until after several years. You shouldn't uproot plant anything else there until you uproot the roots. Arrive complaints says we don't find such a thing anywhere. Mishnah says field which is planted with cannabis and wherever loof is, you shouldn't plant on top of them. Because they only grow every 3 years. But even though when you planted they didn't grow, we don't say that they became wormy and the zera is already no longer present. Because sometimes there's a time delay. They spend time under the ground. Several years. And they grow. They planted and already harvested the grain. There is no issue. See there. Chav Gimel. Od yesh lo avi raya lo rivet. Goes to bring rivet from the rivet to the rivet. Now that was learned. They learned their heights today. If your field is planted with wheat and you decide to change it to barley, wait till it gets wormy, viewback and overturned. Then you plant on your shop. That's how we're talking about where the grain did not grow and you harvested it. There's so else like that. Rambam says it goes to his interpretation of that Mishnah, And then Mary Lachash, she's Galuk, finding Scots to tell about where they grew and you already harvested them. There's Shon Hashem, there's Evan Yiper Hashem Mishnayis. Canvas Luf Chuli, Akvaradu, Shoot Sameach, it's something that it grows, she cuts to something, you cut it down, Shoot Shashab, and if it's remain, it's Bukhu Achar, by Shoshanim. And to go 2 or 3 years later, I Yeshet Sem Shizu too, they're the parts of the those are the plants that you plant them and you harvest them. It's going to grow a second time, and third time, you're going to asif, such as the grass, chule, kalshon. Because the Shabbat Rabbi cuts out Zev Nishu Ekon Ba'aretz. This Rama makes sense when he says that you harvest it at the seed and the roots remain in the ground. Klamar Zera Kazeh Sheishara Ekon Ba'aretz. If you have a seed like this where the roots are in the ground, Velomi Etful not going on grain. Shows some any showing coin bar. It's there. The roots don't remain in the ground. Whereas bechinim showing ain't okay. By wheat bar, it's not like that. Moshe Ber Batzochar, Ram himself could see it later on. And Mechashaver Pratius Ram did not get into the details and Bechlalius, but general principles. Kol Shishar coin bar at any time. The roots remain in the ground whether you harvest it or not. It's a problem. Uvol b'kavnos b'siyat deshmayin is clearly what he meant. Chavdav v'char kosav dina chitim b'sayim b'sayim they writes halacha of wheat and barley. Haisa Sadeyu Zuzruach Chitim, his plant was planted with wheat. When you change your mind and decide to plant it with barley, before the wheat grew. Until the wheat becomes a loss. You have 3 bars to get wormy in the ground. Evidently 3 days, and so they were Ravah. It was moist. And then you turn them up with a plow. Use them in and plant the other species. You don't have to uproot it completely. So it should remain a single solitary great kernel of wheat that wasn't uprooted. So you plow like you normally plant it. Call them hamatar before the rainy season. They should turn in order they should get satiated. Some the wheat grew. Certainly change your mind. So I planted barley. Yafok uproot them, turn them over, and then plant them. If you took your animal into it, and it chewed up the foliage, the vegetation, you could plant another species. See if you give us a mission, misham. So I guess the animal eats. There's no bracha in that. And bracket says, it's got to become wormy or turned over. As with Girsos. For Ramagrais law, you need to do both. Turn it over until it gets wormy. Gores lo hafach chule. Not that way. Didn't turn it over. Whatever. I guess either or. Ayin trumps the Ram is of course more machmir. He requires both in order to plant something else.